somewhere, if you do not have a login for your website, please send in a help ticket to one of those email to your system's help ticket email address, and I will get you set up with a password, with a username or a password reminder if you or reset if you need one. This is what you're going to see when you go to log into your website. So, and how you would get there is quite simply, it's going to be something look like https:// but you don't even have to start with that. It's going to be your library name dot, whether it be org or com, and then dash wp dash admin. So the WP stands for WordPress, and the dash administration or dash admin. So this piece of it is going to be specific to your library. It's whatever your library website name is, dot, whether it be org, com, there might be a couple of WI, US, or some of the other combinations. Most often it's org right now, but that's what you're going to do. And in this case, it's nicelibraries.org/WP-admin. And if it fills in some things after it, it's not a big deal, but that's going to be your website, and it's going to bring you to this login page. This is your first big step. And so I am going to put in, we have at the system level, we have a super admin. And this is our main login that we use to get into all of your websites. So we have a backdoor and a master key into all of your websites. And then you would have your own username. And then I'm going to copy and paste my password to this. And there's our password, and click login. And just like that, we are now seeing the back end of our library website. And on this website, this is going to be the first thing you see. This is going to be your dashboard. So you have your front end of your website that the public sees, and then you have the back end of your website, which is this dashboard where you can control all of the content and what goes on and into this dashboard. One of the first things I do every time I log in is my eye immediately goes over here to where I see this updates with and a lot of times there might be a number next to it with the number of updates there are, and this also site health status screen. This is the first thing you see in the upper left-hand corner. If I click on the updates piece here, this is just a really good habit to get into whenever you log into your website. It's something to keep an eye out for, and it just keeps things plugging away and keeps things from breaking on your website. If I happen to log into your website to do some administration work, I will also come in here. What you're going to see here is probably a notice about WordPress. WordPress goes through update versions, like a lot of software gets pushed out, and there are different updates. This one happens to be updated already. It is running the current version of 6.2. You may see, and I'm going to just make a note of this, you may see that your website is running an older version of WordPress, and that's okay. You do not need to update WordPress. We will take care of this either at the system level for you, or more often, we just let it roll until WordPress forces that update onto your website, and it just automatically happens. When we talk, I think many of you would be familiar with Sierra, and I think the sort of the common across all three systems, our common attitude towards Sierra is that we don't jump on the bandwagon and update Sierra right away as soon as there's a new release. We let some other people get it out there and test it and see if there's bugs. We're sort of the same way. We're very conservative with WordPress, where we don't necessarily need to jump in and grab the newest, hottest version, because there might be bugs, there might be things that break. And as techie as some of the guys even behind me in this whole support system are, we're not website gurus, and we might not be able to fix ourselves some of the things, and we don't want to break a website. So long story short, take your time. You do not need to update WordPress right away. What you should be looking for is this area down here where it says plugins and themes. And these are the things that you can update. So if you notice here on the Nice Libraries website, we have a theme update that's ready to go. And so I'm going to do, and this is our Divi, it says we have version 4.20.2, and now we can update to version 4.21. And that is a good thing to do. We're going to click select there and update theme and let that roll for a second. And it's going to do its work, and then it will say it's updated successfully. And notice also our updates, that little red circle has gone away. So we are all good, and we can go back to home on our dashboard. It might take a second as it's uploading the latest update. There we go. And we're back to our dashboard. So then we're going to take a look at this site health status where it says should be improved. Sometimes this means something, sometimes it doesn't. And I'm mostly just telling you to keep an eye on this in case you see a red circle or you have something, your website's just not functioning right, and you notice something here. So it's going to run a quick site health check here, and it's still loading it. Now, I'm just going to tell you here, these are two things that you can kind of ignore. This page cache not detected and this module missing. These are both things that we're looking at the system level. It really isn't as critical as they say it is, but it does exist, and you're just going to see these two things. This is something that this one, you should remove inactive plugins, this recommendation for security. This is a good thing to look at. I'm jumping a little into the back end piece, and I'm going to give you the word plugin. We're going to use a couple of those. If you're not familiar with what a plugin or an add-on is, essentially it's an extra piece of software that helps WordPress do more than its standard box. So it's kind of like when you go and buy a car, you can get the standard base version of the car, or then you can start upgrading your different trim kits, and you get your heated seats, and you get your different lighting, or you might get a sunroof. Plugins are sort of similar to a sunroof or a heated seat. So if you look over on the black bar on the far left side, you'll see a menu for plugins, and you also see here this notice about inactive plugins. An inactive plugin is an extra piece of technology that you've added on, and in this case, it's not being used on this website. So we can either look here and it'll tell us, we can go down here to manage our plugins and manage the inactive plugins, or we can access that same menu over here off the black bar on the right or on the left. So if I click on manage your plugins, it's going to bring us to all of the different add-ons we have. The problem with plugins, the same way if you had gotten a trim kit piece on your car and you got those heated seats in your car, sometimes that's one more thing to break. It might be really great to have it, but if you don't pay attention to it, you don't use it, or if the engineer that created the plugin isn't keeping it up to date, then plugins can break, and they can sometimes cause issues on your website. So we don't add a lot of them, but we do add a few that are going to be really useful. I logged in here and found they have this Hello Dolly plugin, which is nice. It generates 2 words, or it gives you a random selection lyric from Hello Dolly in the upper right of your admin screen. That's fun, not really necessary. And it's also not even active on this website. So we are going to take that chance to delete that plugin today, so that one less thing for things to break on our website. The other one is this anti-spam plugin. This is not a bad plugin. However, most of our websites have been locked down so that we're not using comments. If you are receiving comments on your posts or using your website as a more interactive thing, you would probably want to keep this active on your website. Most of our websites are information only, and we're not allowing public to post on here, because most of the posts we get honestly are, this is a great post, now come to my website and buy my product, from somebody in Singapore. Not necessary to us. But since we don't have an active commenting, we are going to go ahead and remove these plugins just as another way to keep our website clean. And so what we can do is you can either delete them individually, or since there are two here, we're just going to click in front of them and we're going to not even just deactivate them, we're going to straight up delete these two plugins and hit apply. And it says, do you want to delete it? Yes, we do. And now they've been successfully deleted. And if we go back to our dashboard and we check our site health one more time, you'll notice that it's still loading, but as it gets there, we no longer have the plugin warning on our website. Okay, back to our main dashboard. So now we're in and we've done a little bit of backyard cleaning. And again, if you just kind of keep an eye on this every time you log in, it's not going to be super time consuming, but it'll be a good way for you to manage this. Quick question over to the chat. A question from Catherine, where can we find the recording that you're making today? I will upload it and send a link out. I probably will do it as a, for now, I'm going to do it as a YouTube video, and I will send you a private link to it. We are working on creating a space for all of our training documents. And once that's up and running, all of these videos in the future would be loaded up there. So, email for YouTube. So if you don't catch everything today, don't worry, a link will be coming out shortly. Okay. Any other questions about logging in and checking your site health? Okay, so now on to the down and dirty, and we're going to start getting into what we actually do with our website. We have on this far left-hand side, this is going to be your go-to menu for managing your website. On this side, you have posts, media, and pages. And chances are 98% of your time is going to be spent up here with posts, media, or pages. If you have a Talkify calendar, you may end up going in there once or twice. And if we do anything with plugins, and which we will do shortly, and we'll talk a little bit, and we will talk on Thursday for those of you who can make it then. We'll talk a little bit more about scheduling with a plugin. We'll do a little bit there, but 95 to 98% of your time is going to be spent in one of these three areas. And really, honestly, probably of that, another 95% is going to be spent in posts and media and not so much in pages. When I come into my website, one of the next things I do after doing the site health updates is I will come to this top menu where it says the name of your website, and then there is a visit site right beneath. I will go to that visit site and I will right click on it and I'll click open in a new tab. Now I can have a picture of what the website actually looks like to the public right here in front of me. And I can have the dashboard and the access to the backside. So just give me a thumbs up if you can see both. Now, right now, I've got the nice website front end up, and then I can click back to the dashboard. Is that all good? Yay. Okay. If you're really cool and rocking it and you have two different monitors, sometimes I like to spread it out and get the other website over onto the other monitor so that I can see in both places and I can be refreshing as I go. So if you're looking at your website and you see here, this is our landing page, thenicelibraries.org. This is a very simple website. We're going to go and look at the WVLS website in a few minutes. But right now, we're at this very nice, easy, clean website to look at. They have just a few pages. They have an updates page. They have a meeting documents page. They have a timeline page. They have an FAQ. So if you're not sure what the Nice Library Project is all about, you can come right on here and find out from their frequently asked questions. And they have a place to submit some questions, which takes you to a nice Google form. Just another fun thing you can do with your website, some surveys and forms. But what we're going to do today is just take a look at how the website functions in the back end. So you see each one of these has a link to a page. Over here, when you see in the left-hand side menu, we've got pages, and you have all pages, and you have add new. Right here, you see the pages from that front end in alphabetical order. And there you immediately see the correlation here. Again, this is a simple website. We don't have a ton of pages to work with, and they're all on the same main level. If we wanted to create a new page, which will be a whole nother discussion for another day and a whole nother training video, this is where you would come in, click add new, and then we go through some more steps to create a new page for our nice website. Again, that's probably 5% of your work. You might discover a reason to have a new page, but most of the time, your website's going to be set up, ready to go. What we're going to do most of the time in our library, in our library website, is to deal with the media library and our posts. We don't have a ton of posts on the NICE website because mainly they are just update posts. But we do have a few posts, and that is what comes to this page. When we make a post, it will immediately automatically update on this page of the website because that's how the website was designed. A post is a snippet of information, a piece of that's why we call them a blog post. A lot of people are familiar with a blog where you have a little bit of information that is updated regularly. Your website is designed to take that little bit of information and stick it into various places. It might be on your homepage, it might be on your children's page, it might be on a young adult page. You can choose where those different posts are going to go based on the information. Since we're looking at a very simple website, the only place that these nice updates are going to right now is this project update category. Where the information goes is based on the categories. And we'll look at a couple other examples in a second, but I'm keeping it very simple right now with our project update. If we come in and we edit this post, you'll see here is the title of the post, the link, the direct link to that post. And please notice this last little piece at the end where it says NICE update April 18th, 2023, which is the same as the name of the title of the post. This at the end is called the slug. And you can change this slug to be anything you want it to be. It does not have to be the exact title. You can make this shorter. So if you wanted this to, instead of having all of NICE update, you could just have April 18th, 2023 as that, or you could maybe go back up here and maybe you have NICE update number 5, depending on if you wanted to create a very simple, easy, short link to a particular post. But at the same time, most of our posts come and go, so the slug isn't that important unless you're using it for publicity. When you come up here, you see the Divi Builder. We'll get into that in a minute. The next piece is the Add Media. We'll also get to that in just a second. And then you see your paragraph text box down here. This is what we call a WYSIWYG, or a what you see is what you get editor. So you can do some editing that includes adding, formatting, and links right in this box. If you want to see something scary, you can click over here on the text version. This is for those of us who have experimented and dipped their fingers into HTML coding. It's learning a whole new language. And the good thing is, for using between the Visual Builder here and the Divi Builder, you do not have to actually be able to speak in HTML code to write a simple post like this one. But if something's going wrong and weird and you do know a little bit about HTML, there is the text option to view your text box, the text for your post. Then the important thing to see here is over on the far right side is several modules and boxes, widgets we call them, that apply to your publishing. This publish box is the important box. This is the one that tells you the status of a post, the visibility of the post, and the information on when it was edited. You can this post is already made and already created. So you see that it's already published. You can, however, take a post and change it back to draft and update that, in which case it will no longer be visible to the public. It may say visibility, but it's not going to be on your page anymore. If I come back here and if I view this page, now that post from April 18th is gone. And that nice update from March 21st is the only one there. So if you needed to pull a post, make it invisible for a minute, that's where you would do it. Then if you want to go back, now it's at pending review. If you were doing a co-editing piece, you could have labeled as pending review for somebody to log in and see, or you can go back and you can republish the post down in that publish box. You can have a post that is published and viewable to the public. You can also make one that is password protected, or you could make one that is private. And I don't know, you might have different reasons for making a private link that somebody would have to have the link. They wouldn't be able to go to your website and search for it to get to it directly. Here's another interesting feature is this stick this post to the front page. It's not going to work on this website, but if you had a post that you wanted to make sure was going to stay visible on your front page, and we'll go look at the WVLS website for an example, this is a really neat feature that you can click stick on it, and it makes the post sticky. So it will stay at the top of your list no matter what else is happening behind. We'll talk about that in just a minute with a better example on the WVLS page. And then something you might actually want to do once in a while is to change the date that the post was posted. A good example of this might be both Northern Waters and IFLS Libraries, you are doing the Passport program this summer. And maybe you participated in the Passport program last summer and you still have a post left from last summer that you don't want to have to recreate the wheel and do it all over again. You might want to change the picture, but the words are just fine. Maybe the link even is just fine, and you want to be able to recycle that. Well, guess what? This one says it was published on April 4th, 2023, but let's say I wanted to republish it and have it bumped to the top of my information. I could set it to May and then do it May 15th at 13:30 p.m., 13:29 p.m., and then this post would now appear to have been published today at 1:30 p.m. instead of back in April. So if you had a post that was from June 2022, all you'd have to do is change it to 2023 and it would publish then. Another another trick and neat feature of this is you could also decide you don't want this post to be visible until June. You could change that date, hit update, and now that post has been scheduled to appear on June 15th at 1:30 p.m. So it's scheduled. The visibility will be public. And once June 15th at 1:30 p.m. rolls around 2023, this post will appear on your website automatically without you having to touch it. So if you have a summer reading program that you want to get information scheduled for, but you don't want it necessarily to be on your website until, say, after school lets out on June 6th, or maybe you want it not until right before Memorial Day weekend, you could pick a date at the end of May and schedule it for that time using the simple drop down, and it'll automatically happen and it'll be scheduled right there for you. As somebody else said, you are saving me minutes in my day, and every minute adds up to an hour. So hopefully that gives you a good tip for managing posts. Again, we've got categories down here. We'll go look at the WVLS website to see a little bit more, and we have set a featured image, and we will go look at the WVLS website. But I wanted to start with a very simple, easy to view website before we dove too far into that. So then we have use the Divi builder. This is where it starts to get a little confusing and a little scary for the people who are new to Divi. And I am going to admit, Divi is a learning curve. So hang with me, and this is something we will cover much more in depth as we get into the new website office hours and we start talking about scheduling posts and or start making posts and adding images in Canva and all of the fun things. But I want you to see this now. So the Divi Builder is actually a very powerful tool. It can be tricky. It can be clicky. It requires a little bit of finesse, and it does require some concentration for the first few times you learn it. So what you see here is the WordPress basic editor. If you did not have the Divi theme installed and you had a very basic WordPress website, this is exactly what you would see for your editor. When we add the Divi theme editor and we use the Divi Builder, we have two options. We have, oh, you're not going to even let me, you're going to make me do a page? Nope, that's not what we wanted. Oh, okay, because we're on a post, not on a page. Sorry, we should be doing this. Give me pages. Okay, fine, we're going to come in here. We're going to enable we're going to edit this page. I tried to edit a post, not a page. That is my first mistake. So when I try to get into a page, this is what the Divi Builder looks like on the back end of a page. I'm going to open this in the new tab again. This is what the page looks like on the front end. If I enable the visual builder, which is build on the front end, automatically enables this visual builder. Now I have two options for editing a page on my website. This is something you'll do on occasion. This is not something you'll do as part of your bread and butter and meat of your work on the website. This is what a Divi page looks like edited on the back end. What you see are a whole variety of colored blocks. The purple is the large container. This is everything that is on your page is underneath the purple menu. The top piece is your section header, and then green is row. So the important terminology with Divi is section, row, and then the black is modules. So blue sections, green rows, and black modules. Everything in bright green down here is part of your page template. And this goes on every single of your pages, and it's going to be all of the information at the bottom of your page. So if we see how this translates to what your page looks like, we have your blue section. So this blue box contains everything that is within this blue box on the back end. And then you have the green row. So this is the information in the green. And these are modules, the black modules. If you're editing a page, the vast majority of your time is going to be spent dealing with these black modules. And these can give you a variety. They're very powerful. They can give you a variety of different things that you can add to your website when you're ready to kick it up and start doing things like countdown timers and galleries and photos and embedding, or it's not really embedding, but linking directly to a YouTube video onto your website. This is where all of that magic happens. And then when I scroll down here, you see this is the information in that bright green that you probably will only need to touch if you're changing the hours of service that you're open and closed or something like that on your website. This is the information that comes on every single page on your website. And again, that correlates with these black boxes here, and it correlates with these green boxes here. Okay, now that I've scared you and overwhelmed you with what a page on the back end looks like, remember, this is not something that you're going to touch every single day. This is something you're going to go into on a special project. And if you have a question, go back to the help ticket things and say, how do I do X, Y, and Z? And we can walk you through it. And you can update your website with a new page or new information on a page. Or join us for web office hours. Keep your eyes open for that. Hey, I'm going to jump over to the WVLS website. Hang in there, Janae. I know it's a lot, but again, I'm showing you what is possible. I'm not showing you what is absolutely necessary right now. Just know that everything, I know, everything you see here is only as scary as it needs to be, and we're here to walk you through it. We'll walk through what an actual post and what you do with 90% of your time on your website next. Any other questions? Everybody's still here. You're not all shutting down and leaving the meeting. So good, good. I'm holding with that. Okay. Do you all see the dashboard for the Wisconsin Valley Library Service on my screen now? No. Let's see. Let me make sure that I'm sharing.
Erica, I see a dashboard. It says dashboard, but I can't tell what it is.
Okay, let me see if I open up the website. Thank you. Do you see the Wisconsin Valley Library website?
Job opening, public libraries. Yeah, that was on the dashboard.
Perfect. Okay, good eyes. You saw that. So now I have up here, I have the dashboard for the Wisconsin Valley Library Service. Notice how all of the different dashboards look the same. So I will apologize. Sometimes I have jumped in here to do admin, and the way we access all of your websites, it sometimes will open the library that is alphabetically closest to you without actually opening your library's website. So a few times I have gone and started to make changes to a website before I realize I am on the wrong library. Hopefully I don't leave a trail of breadcrumbs, but if you ever do see something a little odd, it might be that I was trying to do something on another library's website and had to back out. So all the dashboards look the same. We're up here, and again, first thing I do is I usually double check on the updates. Here, this is telling me that my version for WordPress is old. We're at 6.03, and it wants me to update to 6.2. Again, I'm going to ignore this and just let it update as it updates. And then I'm going to go back to our dashboard. I'm just going to double check what's going on the health screen. It wants me to update to 6.2 and is telling me that the Imagic module is missing. That's okay. And look, it actually updated to my site health is good. So all I had to do is pretty much ignore it and it'll go away. And you'll see here, we've got a couple of at a glance pieces. The activity was that on May 10th, the job opening for Public Library Services Consultant was opened, and that was the last activity on our website. So this gives us a nice little summary of whatever has happened since. And this WordPress events and news, meh, you don't need to dig into that at all. That's just, you probably don't care about the 55th anniversary of happy anniversary WordPress, the episode 55. Oh, gosh, WordPress can't be 55 years old. We haven't had the internet that long yet. So anyway, happy anniversary WordPress. That's great. Move on. What we do want to look at now is making a post in our post for our website. So we saw on that activities page that Jamie had posted that there's a Public Library Services Consultant opening, FYI, tell all your friends. WLA has a conference coming up and they're calling for their proposals. The main newsletter is available, the inclusive services update. These are all the things that have been put on our website. And sure enough, if we come out to the front page of the WVLS website, you will see in the top slider bar, this actually is very similar to many of your websites where you have your post slider bar right at the top. And they are going to show you the first. In this case, she's got quite a few queued up. Most of your websites, it'll be the first 3, 4 of your posts. And that will just automatically scroll through these as they go along. What is happening here is we get down to you'll start seeing in here, there's some of these that are drafts. They have been retired or moved to draft. and some of these other ones might not be showing up. So this website actually could use a little cleanup. Do we really need all of these posts showing up when really it's probably only the first 4? We could come in here and tweak how many posts are showing, but that's not what we're here for today. That's when we start bunny trailing, and we're here to create a new post. So we're going to create a post today. What we're going to do is just make a generic post about, what have I got in my thing? We're just going to say, welcome to WVLS. So I'm going to create a new post, and I'm going to come in here to this add new. And I'm going to call it welcome to WVLS. And give it a little, and notice, as soon as I click away, it gives me this auto link right here, the new permalink with a slug that says, welcome to WVLS. And that is you could change it. I could just have it welcome. I could make it whatever I wanted, but I'm going to leave it as that. That's fine with me. And so WVLS is happy to be here to serve all of your library support needs. And we're going to create a featured image so that when actually, no, I'm going to skip that first. So I'm going to leave it plain like this. I showed you how to publish. Right now, our status on this is draft. So if I come out here, it's not visible on our website. We still have the we're hiring. Nothing's there. If I come out here and I hit publish, and I'm going to publish it immediately, and I refresh our website, what did I do wrong? Oh, I'm sorry. On the WVLS website, I need to make sure that I have it added to the category. I forgot about that. Your website may automatically put it into the homepage, but this categories piece is important. It is going to automatically go to an uncategorized category. Yours may automatically, and you may need to tell it to go to a homepage. I think most of your websites should automatically go to homepage. On the WVLS website, I have to actually say, put it in the featured post slider. And now if I hit update and I refresh it again, now I have this welcome to WVLS post appearing on my website. Doesn't have a picture. Maybe I want to add, yeah, not pretty. We want pictures. We like pictures. So maybe I want to have a picture in here. I am going to come down and scroll on this right-hand side to set featured image. Now this is going to open up a link to my media library. Remember I told you we're going to spend a lot of our time going back and forth between posts and media library and a little bit of our time in pages. Well, the media library is where—
Use your picture, Erica.
Oh gosh, I actually got kudos for doing that in the last session. So maybe I will use my picture. Well, let's take a look real quick before we actually add this photo. I'm going to, again, right-clicking and opening a new tab is one of my favorite tools in website building. Now I have my entire media library right here in front of me. And when I come here to set featured image, I can see the media library here. So I could, instead of adding a new image, I could just use my own photo. So, hey, Erica says, WVLS updates, or WVLS welcomes you. So featured image down in this box, and this post, I'm going to hit update and hit refresh. And now our post has a teeny tiny little Erica on here, because the purpose that website, that image was uploaded for in the first place was to have a teeny tiny little Erica, not a nice giant Erica face. You do need to pay attention to the size of your images and the quality of your images that are going on your website. We don't want them gigantic. We don't want big Papa Bear images, because those will slow down your website over time. And the more images you get in there, it's going to, and anything with data is going to just make your website slow to a crawl. You don't necessarily want teeny tiny little baby bear images either, because you're not going to be able to see them, or they're going to get blown up so big that they end up having a very granular, grainy 1990s website look to them. So we're looking for some middle ground. We will have more resources available on how to choose image size coming to you, both through some office hour trainings and through some documentation that I've got started. Anne created a bunch of things. This is just a matter of us getting all of the information that she created, I created, and that you ask questions about, and we're putting it in a place where you can find it. So I'm not a huge fan of the tiny little picture. Let's add a new image to this, either through the media library, or we can go in through our media library, or we can do it actually through here. So we're going to remove this featured image for now. If I do set featured image and I decide I want a new file, a new image, I click on upload files, select files, and I'm going to go, I already downloaded, I happen to have in my downloads the primary logo for WVLS. And this is a middling resolution one. It is not a huge, it's not our high resolution logo. And now I've got that here. If I want to make sure I like the changes before I actually do it, I can, instead of hitting update, I can hit preview change, and that will open a new web. And this will bring me to my post. This is not what you're going to see on the home page. This is what you're going to see in the actual post, that when somebody clicks on your home page, they will go in and read this. Notice here, I used not a high resolution image. I used a middling resolution image. So it's large, and it's going to show you the featured image up above the text in your post. It's large, but it's grainy. So again, we don't want to use tiny images. We don't want to use big image, or we don't want to use giant images, but we have to kind of figure out where that's going to end up in the middle. So let's double check, or let's go back here and let's hit update and see what this looks like on our front page. There, it's a smaller image. It's not maybe as big as I still want it, because I didn't use the high resolution, but there is an image there, and it's the logo. Now, if I click on this read more, that's when it's going to bring me to the actual page, the permalink up here, and you see the slug, welcome to WVLS. This is the post page. So if you step back and you see the workflow that is happening here, we've created a blog post that is being fed. Let me get these tabs in order. This blog post is being fed. Try one more time. Where's our WVLS homepage? Unscripted LS. Okay. Because we took our blog post, we put it in the featured post slider. It's being fed to our homepage slider. And when we click on that, it brings us to the actual blog post itself. So that's the workflow. By doing it in one place, you end up with it happening to appear here and in an individual blog post.
Can you repeat those steps, Erica?
Yes. So let's start from the very beginning. We're in our dashboard. We go to posts. We're going to pretend we added new, but we already have this post right here. So we went to add new. We created a welcome to WVLS post that gave us our permalink with the welcome to WVLS slug here. And when we click on it, it actually opens up the post. We added our text down here. We made sure that it was added to the categories we wanted it in. Featured post slider is what it is on WVLS. It's a little different on your websites. Probably it says homepage, or it might say front page. We scroll down here to WVLS logo. We added a featured image that was either already in our media library or that we uploaded to our media library, and we hit publish. And that published the post, which added it to our front page, homepage slider. And it is, because it was published most recently, it is appearing ahead of the job opening one. And it is appearing as a blog post. When we click on read more, it opens it up as a blog post.
Okay, what, Erica, when you have it right there and you click read more and it goes to a blog post, what's the difference between having it there where it is and the blog post?
You might have more. Good question. Good question. What it might be is this is a very short blog post. In this case, it has all of one sentence.
Yeah.
And you can see that entire one sentence on the front page. If in the case, let's move over to this job posting, you notice that it runs out of words here. It goes ...
Yeah.
This is because there's more information on that blog post than actually fits on the front page.
Okay.
So in this case, when I click read more, we have a lot of words down beneath the featured image. And that's going to tell you a lot more information. Sometimes a blog post, there's not much to say. It's a link or it's a picture with join us at this time. We'll see you then. And it all fits on that front page. Sometimes you need to click read more to be able to get all of the information about the event or the program or the project. Got that?
Yep.
Awesome. Before we leave here completely, I want to throw two more things at you. And then you have all afternoon to digest. I'm going back to our posts. Actually, I'm going to start this way. I'm going to go back to dashboard so that you see we're starting right from the dashboard. And I'm going into posts again. And this will bring us to our all posts. Couple of tricks here. Maybe I don't want this welcome to WVLS at the top. Maybe I want to make sure that the job opening, that maybe this is the most important thing that I always want to have at the top. I can come down here to quick edit, which is going to look a little bit different than going down to edit. So you see in the quick edit, I don't have to open that entire post information to see the basic information about the post. I have the status here is published, pending review or draft. I have the date that it was published, and then I have an expiration date, which I didn't show you in the other one, and I will show you that real quick. But here, maybe I want the job posting to be sticky, and I want to make sure that that's always at the top of my featured posts, no matter what. I can click make this post sticky, click update. And now when I come to my WVLS homepage, even though, come on, you're not going to cooperate with me. Okay, well, what that is supposed to do is it's supposed to make it so that it will stay ahead of any other items. And I don't know why it's not doing that. Unless I accidentally made this one sticky. Nope. Of course, it's not going to cooperate with me. So I apologize. We'll have to look into that. The other thing that I can do is, as was in this one, you see that it has enable post expiration. This is a plugin, and I did send out a few emails, and some of you went ahead and tried to do and successfully added this plugin to your website. And we will go over doing this on Thursday and how to actually install this plugin if you don't have it. But this is an additional add-on that you have to put on your website in order to say that on June 30th, when this job posting is going to be up for review, we want this to disappear from our website. And so what Jamie has set this up is to have it expire on June 30th at about 10 in the morning. And it will expire to draft. It will not delete it from your website, but it will take it and it will move it into a draft folder so that only you can see it on the back end. You could revive it and bring it back and republish it, but at that point, it won't be seen otherwise. Then if we go back to our post page again and we do a quick edit, maybe I don't want this welcome to WVLS to appear quite yet. Again, I could set it to be a scheduled post. Maybe I want it to appear on the 20th at 1 in the afternoon, and I can hit update. And now it appears as a scheduled post. And so it won't show up until such and such a date. And now, if it's updated properly, you're going to cooperate with me, you're not going to see it, and it won't appear on my website until that date. So now you know how to schedule a post for the future and have it disappear in the future. Questions. Okay, what if we have a PDF flyer that we want to add to our website? That's going to go a little long for our 2 o'clock end time today, but the short answer is you have to transform it into a JPEG before you can upload it to your website as a picture. You cannot, the only format that really works on on the WordPress websites is JPEG. Anything with like a PNG or a PDF flyer is not going to appear as an image on your website. So what you would do, and I'm going to do a whole thing on this, and I will do a couple training documents, is convert your PDF to an image file. You can do this multiple different ways. You can do it as you're making a Canva file. You can do it through an online converter. You can do it if you have Nitro Pro or some of the other Adobe products. You can convert it to a JPEG, and that will make it something that you can upload as an image. You can also put a PDF onto your website as a downloadable link. So usually then what you would do is you would take your PDF flyer, turn it into a JPEG, and then you would add a link to that JPEG image on your website. So when somebody clicks on it, it will download as a nice, neat PDF that they can print. I know that's a lot to say in just a few words. We will walk through a click-by-click process on how to do that because it's something we do every single day. Can patrons from one system access other system options? It really depends. For the most part, our options are the same across the board. The things that really are different is if we have different programs. So there are some things on our website, and the other things are like our library catalogs are different. WVLS uses Aspen as its catalog. The Northern Waters uses Pika, or Pika as their catalog, and IFLS uses the BibGoCommons More catalog. Those are different across the different websites, and how your book carousels and everything appear on your website is going to be different depending on your library system. Most of our things, the things that are different across websites are different databases. Like Northern Waters is no longer offering Ancestry. WVLS still offers Ancestry. So there are some of those databases that might be linked on your website that are different across our systems depending on what library services offer.
Erica,
Yeah.
that's with my library card number, would I be able to go on WVLS and take a Gale course?
No. You can only, you would need to go down to Minocqua and get a card from the Minocqua library, and then you could use ours. So yes, our library card numbers don't do the databases across systems yet. Maybe some.
And the same for Ancestry?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. But good question. That's a very excellent question. And that's actually, if we go back to our original website, the NICE project, that's kind of what they're talking about, is how do we share some of those resources between systems. Okay. And with that, it is 2 o'clock. I'll hang out for another 15 minutes or so if you have any other questions. But 2 p.m. on Thursday, don't forget, we'll go over a step-by-step how to make posts, how to add images to those posts, how to know what size those images should be, and I will send out information for future references. But with that, I will stop the recording and stop sharing my screen, and we will be available for you for whatever other questions you might have. I can figure out how to turn off the recording.